Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to our story time today with Flash the dog. Our story today is one of my favorites. The title is The Most Wonderful Egg in the World. It's written and illustrated by Helm Hine. And this story is going to be about animals. It is an animal fantasy, so make believe about animals. I would like us today to really pay attention to the characters in this book. So I made some little character cards to show you. There will be a king in this story. And of course, since we're learning about chickens, there's going to be 3 chickens. A chicken named Dottie. Notice her little polka dots. A chicken with long legs named Stalky. And a 3rd chicken, Plumie, with big red plumes on top of her head. Okay, let's pay attention today to these characters. And we're also going to talk a little bit at the end of the story about where the story takes place. We call that the setting. The most wonderful egg in the world. Once upon a time, long ago, 3 hens were quarreling about which of them was the most beautiful. Quarreling. They were fighting. Dottie had the most beautiful feathers. Stalky had the most beautiful long legs. And Plumie had the most beautiful crest upon her head. Since they could not settle their quarrel among themselves, they decided to go and ask the king for his advice. Look at the arrow pointing the direction where the king lives. What you can do is more important than what you look like, said the king. Whichever one of you lays the most wonderful egg, I will make into a princess. He went out into the palace park, followed by all the hens in his kingdom. Now Dottie preened her beautiful dotted feathers before settling herself into the wet grass. It was not long before she cackled, stood up, and stepped aside. I wonder what her egg's gonna look like. Look at all those hens admiring the egg. Everybody was speechless. There lay an egg, snow white, spotless, and perfectly shaped, the eggshell shimmering like polished marble. This is the most perfect egg I have ever seen, cried the king, and all the hens nodded. Yep. Flash, do you think that's a nice looking egg? Oh, Flash thinks it's pretty good. Then it was Stalky's turn. Everybody felt a little sorry for her. They knew she could not lay a more perfect egg. It was impossible. After 10 minutes, Stalky cackled, got up, and stretched her legs proudly in the morning sun. Let's see what her egg looks like. Oh! The king clapped his hands with joy. There lay an egg of such size and weight that even an ostrich would have been jealous. This is the biggest egg I've ever seen, cried the king. And all the hens nodded. Yep, they said. Oh, we have to show Flash. Flash, look at this big egg. He went and got his own toy. That is a huge egg. While they were still nodding, Plumie settled herself carefully on the ground. Everybody felt extremely sorry for her. They knew she could not lay a more perfect or bigger egg. It was unthinkable. Modestly, with cast-down eyes, she sat there. Oh, boys and girls, wait till you see this egg. Then, with only a small cackle, she got up to reveal an egg that would be talked about for the next 100 years. Look at this. Before them lay a square egg. Each side was straight as if drawn with a ruler. and each surface shone in a different color. "This is indeed the most fantastic egg I've ever seen," cried the king. And all the hens nodded. "Oh, yep. Flash, look at this egg. It's actually a cube shape." Boys and girls, that's a 3D shape. We're learning about shapes in math. It was impossible to say which egg was the most wonderful. So the king decided that all three hens, Dottie, Stalky, and Plumie, should be made princesses. And look, boys and girls, he made a picture of their eggs and framed them. And from that day to this, they have been the best of friends and have happily gone on laying extraordinary eggs. The end. Oh, a surprise ending, boys and girls. And I made a card to show their eggs. Okay, the first egg laid by Dottie was very perfect and round. The second one by Stalky, remember, was huge and beautiful and white. The third one in the shape of a cube by Plumie. Boys and girls, I love that story. Now, think back on the characters in the story. We have the king, Dottie, Stalky, and Plumie. Think about what happened in the story, how they had to lay a wonderful egg. And we said we would talk about in this animal fantasy where it takes place. So think for a moment. The setting of a story is where the story happens. So think to yourself, where does it happen? Oh, kiss your brain. If you said it happens in the kingdom with the king in his castle out in the yard, that is the setting of the story. Your assignment for today, boys and girls, is to get out your reader's notebook, write down 1 or 2 sentences about your favorite character from The Most Wonderful Egg in the World. Maybe you'll say, "I liked the king because he let all 3 become princesses in the castle." Maybe that's your favorite character. And then we can share it when we talk later this week in our Zoom session. Happy writing, boys and girls. Bye-bye.